Hi, everyone, and welcome. My name is Ms. Hope. I'm the magnet coordinator at North Hollywood High School Zoo Magnet, and I'm excited to share with you today some information about our program and what makes it so special so that you can decide if this is the right program for you. So just a little bit of background. I've actually been a part of the Zoo Magnet for a very long time. This is my 7th year as a teacher at the Zoo Magnet, my 2nd year as magnet coordinator. And I actually graduated from the Zoo Magnet. So my first day at the Zoo Magnet was in fall 2002. I graduated in 2006. My brothers graduated after me in 2010, 2014, and 2019. So I've been involved with the Zoo Magnet for over half my life, and I'm very excited to share with you today some of the interesting things that we have to offer and why I love the school as much as I do. So a brief background on what magnets are if you are not familiar. So magnets actually in LUSD originated out of the district's desegregation plan to reduce harms of racial isolation within the district. And the magnet schools were created to establish racial balance between students. So, for example, as a desegregated magnet with LUSD, our student admission ratios are we admit 60% students of color, students that fall within the HBAO category, which is Hispanic, Black, Asian, and other non-white, and 40% other white students. The magnet system is managed by the Office of Integration at the district level. There are nearly 200 specialized schools in LUSD, ranging in a number of different specialties, including business and humanities, medicine, performing arts. Our program, of course, is a zoology and biological sciences program. So if you're new to the magnet system, you can apply during a 6-week application window, which opens October 1st and closes November 13th this year. You can apply online at echoices.lausd.net or with a paper application, which is available at a local district office, magnet offices around the district, or local public libraries. Students are accepted to programs based on a point system. So in order to qualify for points, there's a number of different measures. So one is if you're currently enrolled in a LUSD magnet school for middle school, for instance, and plan to move into a magnet high school, you would take with you 12 matriculation points for moving from a magnet to a magnet for your next level. If your home school or your resident school, meaning the school you would attend if you didn't apply to a magnet or any other specialty program, is FABAO, which stands for primarily Hispanic, Black, Asian, or other non-white, you get 4 points. If your student has a sibling who currently attends the magnet to which you are applying, then you get 3 points. And every time you're put on a magnet wait list, you get 4 points. If you are unclear about this, I recommend going to lusdmagnets.com. They have a lot more information about how the point system works and how students are admitted. But in short, the Zoo Magnet, like all magnets in LUSD, admits solely based on this point system. I often get emails or calls from families who talk about how their student is so interested in zoology and they really love going to the zoo and they want to have this sort of career with animals when they grow up. And that's wonderful. Unfortunately, I cannot factor that into our admission process. It's solely based on this point system. The magnet portal receives your application, calculates your points, provides us with a list of names in order of the most points to the least, and we have to go in order to admit students based on that list. So unfortunately, there's no letters of recommendation. There's no anything related to grades or anything like that. It's purely based on this point system. Okay. So at North Hollywood High School, we have multiple programs, including a School for Advanced Studies, a Highly Gifted Magnet, STEM Magnet, and you're learning today about the Zoo Magnet. In the choices application, our school is listed as North Hollywood High School, LA Zoo / Biological Sciences. So please make sure you look for the one that says Zoo, because that is us. The STEM Magnet is a different program. Although it is science-based, it is a very different program located at the North Hollywood campus. And the Zoo Magnet actually has a separate campus off of North Hollywood High School, which I'll get into in just a second. So at our school, we have 300 students. We have 11 teachers that are employed with the Zoo Magnet. We have 9 classrooms. So out of those 11 teachers, 10 of them teach at the Zoo Magnet campus, and 1 of them teaches at the North Hollywood campus. So those 10 teachers share 9 classrooms. And we do have, as I mentioned, 2 campuses. So the North Hollywood High School campus located in North Hollywood on Colfax and Magnolia. And then the Zoo Magnet Center campus, which is located adjacent to the LA Zoo. We'll take a look at that in just a second. We do provide shuttle busing between the 2 campuses because students do take classes at both campuses. And our campus is on a block schedule, which I'll also explain further shortly. So to look a little bit more closely at our 2 campus system, we have the North Hollywood campus, like I mentioned, in the North Hollywood area. That's the picture of it here. And then our campus is actually located adjacent to the LA Zoo. So if you've ever been to the zoo on a busy weekend and they have that overflow parking lot that you can park in, that's where our campus is located, directly across the street. We have 3 little bungalows, like I mentioned, 9 classrooms for those 10 teachers. And that's where all of our math, science, English, and history classes are taught. We also have 1 foreign language teacher there who teaches Spanish, and she teaches Spanish 1 and Spanish 3, as well as Latin American studies. For PE, students have to take classes at the North Hollywood campus. So we are a very small campus. We do not have the facilities to offer PE on our campus. So students in 9th and 10th grade have to take PE as a graduation requirement for 2 years. And so they take that at the North Hollywood campus and 1 additional class. So in 9th grade, they take PE and their environmental studies class with Miss Benitez in the agriculture area. The ag area at North Hollywood has 8 acres of land. It's one of the largest agriculture areas in the district. We have lots of different farm animals and land for farming, and the students grow their own food. They learn about sustainable agriculture. They cook their own food in that class, and it's a really exciting hands-on project-based class that they take in their 9th grade year. In 10th grade, they would be taking at the North Hollywood campus their PE and their 2nd year of Spanish. After they've completed their PE requirements, students have the option in 11th and 12th grade of taking all of their courses at the zoo campus, or they can continue taking classes at the North Hollywood campus if there are some special classes, electives, or AP classes that are not offered on our campus that they're interested in taking. We're about a 10-minute drive between the 2 campuses on a school bus, so it's not too bad. And I'll explain a little bit more about kind of how that works shortly. So we are the only zoo and high school partnership program in the state of California. And there's only 6 programs in the entire nation that have an affiliation or partnership with a local zoo. So we are a very unique program. You will not find other schools like us in the district, in the state. So if you're interested in this, we are a very specialized program that would be hard pressed to find an equivalent of elsewhere. A little bit breakdown of our students. So as I mentioned, we have about 300 students this year. It's a little bit more than that, around 316. And our goal with our students is to foster their love of biological and zoological sciences, knowing that many of our students come in with that to begin with. We also want them to respect and appreciate diversity. That's one of the pillars of the magnet system for Magnet Schools of America. And we want our students to be prepared for life beyond our school. So the way we do this is we offer a number of different specialized courses related to our theme. We have 20 different science courses, including animal studies, which works directly with the LA Zoo and LA Zoo docents and keepers. Animal behavior, where students get to study animal behavior at the LA Zoo through research projects, and they also learn about animal training. Animal husbandry, where students actually, as seniors, have the opportunity to serve as an assistant zookeeper to an actual zookeeper at the LA Zoo. And zoology, which also works with the zoo. Animal science, which is actually a class offered through the North Hollywood campus that works with the animals in the agriculture area. Physiology and marine biology. And those are just a few. We have a number of additional courses. We have 22 different AP courses, including AP biology, chemistry, environmental science, English literature and language, calculus, AB. They have AP Calculus BC at the North Hollywood campus as well, AP European history. So we have other non-science AP courses as well. Like I mentioned, we have the AP English courses, various AP math courses, and social science courses as well, including AP US history. And I guess I should highlight maybe just a couple of these pictures. These pictures are actually from our students in their senior trip to Catalina Island. So that was at their cabin, and this was in a cave near their cabin. And I bring that up because one of our primary goals is to extend student learning beyond the classroom. We do that in a number of ways. We have interdisciplinary curriculum units where our teachers work across subject matter, English teachers and science teachers and math teachers and social science teachers working together to design a unit based on an overarching question, usually by grade level, and then the students do various activities, readings, and so forth to explore that unit across these different subject areas, and then it usually culminates in some sort of trip or large activity where the students kind of get to see how all of these things tie together. We also, for the last several years, have had a partnership with the LA Opera in a number of ways. So the LA Opera has a program that allows various schools to work with them and work with professional opera singers, directors, and performers, stage managers, and so on, to put on a production of a famous opera. And we participated in that for several years through our social science classes, like anthropology. One of the ones they did was the White Bird of Poston. And so we've done a couple of different ones. This was one that we did last year. But we've also had a very unique partnership with the LA Opera that has also worked in cooperation with our partners at the Arch Museum and the LA Zoo. So from 2015 to 2018, we worked on the Wreck of the Miranda, which basically what happened was the Arch Museum was in talks with the LA Opera about creating a new opera that centered student voice. And so they reached out to our students at the Zoo Magnet, and in cooperation with my marine biology class, the students did research based on this theme that the opera was looking for, about something related to the environment. And so students did research on a couple of different topics, presented their information to the opera, and then the opera took that and wrote a brand new opera out of it that was titled The Wreck of the Miranda. It was about a shipwreck that happened off the California coast and polluted the water and was causing people to get sick. And in the opera, students identify the problem, do the research, and basically call out the company responsible for that shipwreck and not properly cleaning it up. So it was really cool because our students were involved in the initial planning process. They helped to provide feedback in the original workshop of the first draft of the opera. And then years later, when it was ready for production, they actually performed the opera at the Autry Museum. So it was a really great process to be a part of. We are excited to be kind of restarting that process this year with our 9th grade students. So they are currently going to be working on researching ideas for an opera about biodiversity and and conservation. And so they are working with LA Zoo docents and keepers, and they're going to be doing research around that topic to present to the opera, which they, as 10th graders, will have the chance to provide feedback to for in a workshop. And then as juniors, when the production is ready, they will be able to perform that opera. So this is actually something our students are going to get to see the entire process through, and be a part of all the way through. So we're really excited about our partnership with the opera and the way that provides an opportunity for students to learn about science and express science in a way that is accessible to people who maybe are not scientists, right? Through an art medium such as opera and the storytelling of opera. In addition to that, we have local access to the Los Angeles River, which serves as a living laboratory for our chemistry and environmental science classes, as well as other classes. We are located in the heart of Griffith Park. So I mentioned we work with the Autry Museum of the American West through classroom curators. Our students have actually had a full gallery on display at the Autry Museum before. And we also have student interns that work with the Autry Museum education group. And then we have the Griffith Park Observatory that our students will access for lessons and field trips. We have an annual crayfish contest where students go and remove invasive crayfish from the local fern dell. And we have a ranger internship as well. So students work with Griffith Park Rangers to learn about what that career is like, and they actually go out into the field with them and do work with the Rangers. It's really exciting. In addition to getting our students out of the classroom whenever possible, we also bring professionals into the classroom through different special days of the year. So we have a college career day where we focus on bringing in professionals from different fields, not just in science, but kind of all over. We've had hairdressers and graphic designers, graphic artists for like graphic novels and things like that, filmmakers and lawyers and journalists and so on. So we bring in lots of different people from different fields so that our students get that breadth of exposure of different career fields, as well as college representatives. We also have our annual Earth Day. We make a really big deal of it. We spend the whole day in observance of Earth Day. So the students spend 2 hours on listening to a speaker from an environmental organization. So they usually have 2 speakers that they go to, 1 hour each. And then they spend 2 hours on a field trip. So they might go on a hike or they might go to the Griffith Park Observatory. And then they spend 2 hours doing community service. So removing invasive species from the park or planting new native plants, cleaning up the Los Angeles River, things like that. And I mentioned a little bit about our internship programs that we have through the Autry Museum, the LA Zoo, the Ranger program, and so forth. So to dive in a little bit more about our partnership with the LA Zoo, which is our Keystone partnership, several of our courses rely heavily on the LA Zoo and the resources that we have and the connections that we have there, including connections with keepers and docents. I mentioned a little bit about how husbandry, animal studies, and animal behavior use those resources. And then we also have internships in addition to the husbandry program with the LA Zoo. So we have a research internship where the students work with the head of research at the LA Zoo, Dr. Kathleen Cox, who is also a professor at UCLA. And she teaches the students how to do ethological observational research. They learn how to, in one project, for example, they learned how to identify the different individual meerkats, and they collected data on them to see if the zoo lights exhibit was modifying their behavior at all or causing any sort of stress. The graphics internship works to create new graphics around the zoo, new informational plaques and so forth to engage visitors and allow people to learn new information. So students are not only learning about the animals, but also learning ways to visually capture their interest and display the information. And so they get to express their kind of artistic side as well. In addition, the LA Zoo, is open to us for a number of different uses, including special behind-the-scenes tours. We have special speakers that come and visit our students. We have special access to exhibits. In some cases, they may ask us to give feedback on an exhibit before they release things. The botanical gardens is accessible to us. We work in cooperation with the education department at the LA Zoo to develop lessons. And socially, the zoo is available to us as a site to our annual winter dance. We have our assemblies at the Witherby Auditorium at the entrance of the LA Zoo, and our students are largely and highly involved in the LA Zoo Student Volunteer Program. So these pictures that you see here are from some of our husbandry students. So the husbandry strings vary fairly widely. A string is a group of animals that one keeper is responsible for, and so a student is assigned to a string with that keeper. Some of them are very high contact, like in the pictures that you see here, meaning the students are actually able to make physical contact with the animals that they're working with. In other cases, they are not so much. So you're not going to see a student who's working with the gorillas giving them a hug or bottle feeding any, venomous snakes or anything like that, right? So depending on the string, there's more or less contact, but there's certainly opportunity for that. In addition, one unique opportunity that's available to our students is the Denton Haber Earthwatch Scholarship. So Earthwatch, for those of you who are not familiar, is a program that allows students to participate in scientific research around the world with professionals who are doing field research. The program is very expensive, but through a generous donor who works closely with the LA Zoo, we are able to offer annually several full scholarships to the Earthwatch program. So in 2019, the last year that our students were able to go on this trip, we had several students. So these are all Zoo Magnet students here. This is Marissa, Olivia, Tiger, Nora, and Max. And those are all Zoo Magnet students who were able to go on the Denton Haber Earthwatch trip to Costa Rica. In the past, we've also sent students to Brazil, Ecuador, the Peruvian Amazon, French Pyrenees, South Africa, Trinidad, Thailand. In Kenya, they went and studied elephants. I think in Trinidad, they were studying ocelots. So they've studied all kinds of different animals in all of these different places. And it's a really unique opportunity. And that scholarship is only available to Zoo Magnet students and Zoo student volunteers. That's it. So students who go to other high schools and are not involved in the Zoo student volunteer program are not eligible for this full scholarship. In addition, we have some other cool trips. Again, we try to get our students out of the classroom as much as possible to engage with their learning in a more exciting way. One of our teachers has taken students on trips to Iceland and Costa Rica and the Galapagos. They went to Peru. They went to Alaska. Our senior trip in the past has been to the Catalina Island Marine Institute. We've also taken students to Yosemite, and annually we take our juniors on a Northern California college tour where we visit UC Davis and other universities that are maybe more inaccessible to students to visit on a normal basis. So we go as a whole class and on an overnight trip over a weekend. And the kids get to tour the universities and learn a little bit more about how to apply to college in their junior year. So a little bit about kind of this small school, big school dynamic. So the Zoo Magnet is a small program. We have, as I mentioned, 300-something students, 310-ish students, about an average of 75 students per grade. So it's a very small program that's basically 2 classes full of students. And we do actually vary from year to year. One year we admit a smaller group and the next year we admit a larger group. So in reality, it's actually like a 65 student class or a 95 student class. So either way, that's about 2 or 3 English classes full of students, depending on the year. That is your entire group of peers that you're going to be spending the next 4 years with, that you'll graduate with. And so there's a lot of kind of opportunity for you to make those relationships that are going to be long lasting. We do have one counselor for our students. Typically, counselors have over 500 students each. Our school just has 300 students this year. We actually employed an additional psychiatric social worker that works with our students 2 days a week. And so 2 days a week, our counselor is at the North Hollywood campus providing service for an additional 150 students. So we do have a counselor who's able to devote a little bit more time. And we also have a psychiatric social worker who works with our students. And we have a college counselor who works through the North Hollywood campus to provide a lot of different workshops on applying to university. I also I read applications for UC Davis undergraduate admissions for 6 years. And so I provide some one-on-one help with students for their college applications. We have financial aid workshops that we offer. So lots of personalized support for our students. We do have an ambassador program, which our students are involved in. After their 9th grade year, they're able to apply for this program where they have the opportunity to welcome new students, make calls and connect with them and provide support for those students. And as I mentioned, as a small school, we are a very close-knit community. As someone who went to the school, befriended her teachers, became a teacher, and is now the magnet coordinator there, I can speak to that. It is a really great community to be a part of. These are people who I'm happy to still have in my life, people that we keep in touch with over the years. So that's one of the great things about having a small school community. However, most small schools that you're looking at probably are missing stuff, right? They don't always have sports or a strong music program or a lot of the teams that other schools have. We have the very unique fortune of being a part of North Hollywood High School, which is one of the best high schools in the Valley, and provides a number of resources and opportunities to our students, including access to additional courses that we may not be able to offer on our campus because we only have the 10 teachers on our campus. So students have access to special courses taught by people who have professional experience in various fields. We also have extracurricular opportunities such as this fantastic band known as the Royal Regiment, which includes our dance team, and they compete at the city level and are a really great program to be a part of. I was in band, my brothers were all in band, so it's all fun. We also have cheerleading. We have all the sports you can imagine, including the ones that are listed on the slide. And we have some really amazing nationally ranked academic teams, including our academic decathlon, cyber patriots, robotics, youth and government, and speech and debate. So all the things you can want about the large high school experience, the prom, the teams, the Friday night football, it's all there, but we still get our small campus environment. So it's really the best of both worlds. So our students achieve success all over the country, all over the world. They go on to be successful in a number of different fields. One of our students here is Annika. She actually is just in her first year at UC Davis Vet School, which is really exciting. But not all of our students go into veterinary medicine. Some of our students go on to basically every other field you can imagine. Just to give you a sense, my brothers who went through the program, one of them studied economics. The other one was a music major at Indiana University Jacobs School of Music as a percussionist. And the other one is studying environmental engineering. So kind of all over the place. We have students who go into law, who go into writing and art and so on. So we offer a varied experience that prepares students for whatever they're interested in studying beyond high school. So things to consider when you're thinking about whether or not we are the right fit for you as a high school. Busing is a very big part of our program. So students who live outside of a 5-mile radius of the North Hollywood High School campus, and that's as the crow flies, that's not necessarily what it would actually be if you were driving. They would qualify, if you're outside of that 5-mile radius, you would qualify for a home route bus that would pick you up, usually at a local high school or middle school, and bring you to the North Hollywood High School campus in the morning. And then depending on where you start your day, whether that's at the North Hollywood campus or the Zoo Magnet campus, you would either start your day at North Hollywood and hop off the bus and start, or hop on an additional shuttle bus to the Zoo Magnet campus. So to clarify, our classes are paired. So if students have, say, for example, PE and environmental studies first and second period, at the main campus, they'll have them paired like that. So they'll have them first and second. And then at nutrition, they'll get on a bus to come to the Zoo Magnet campus and have the remainder of their classes at the Zoo Magnet campus. At the end of the day, all of our students at the Zoo Magnet campus hop on a bus back to North Hollywood, where they can catch their home route bus or be picked up from that campus. You can pick up and drop off at the Zoo Magnet campus if that's more convenient for you. But just know that there is no bus at the end of the day. Like none of the home route buses leave from the Zoo Magnet campus, and supervision after school is limited because we don't have those buses. At the North Hollywood campus, there are late buses. So if students need to stay after school for sports practice or band practice or extracurricular activities, they can do that. And then there's a bus that leaves at 6:30 to take them home. And again, you're welcome to pick up and drop off at either campus as is convenient for you. Please also note that in the morning, there's no bus going from the Zoo Magnet campus to the North Hollywood campus. So if your student starts their day at North Hollywood, you would have to get them to North Hollywood in the morning, either through the bus or dropping them off. You can't drop them off at the zoo and have them make their way to North Hollywood because the buses don't go that way in the morning. Same thing at the end of the day at North Hollywood, there's no bus that goes to the zoo at the end of the day. It only goes from the zoo to North Hollywood. But all of these buses, depending on where you live, may be a lot of time on the bus. So that is something to consider whether or not you want to spend that amount of time on the bus. One of the nice things about the bus is it provides time for students to catch up with work, maybe get some homework done or some reading done. It's a really, I think, valuable social time for students to have and kind of take that break in the middle of the day with the shuttle buses. For me as a student, I always used it as my nap time. And what high schooler doesn't want to take a nap in the middle of the day? So that was enjoyable for me. But again, just something to consider whether or not you're comfortable kind of with the busing system. And just on the flip side, I mentioned you could possibly start your day at the North Hollywood campus and catch a bus at nutrition to the Zoo Magnet. The other possibility is you start your day at the Zoo Magnet, so you get to North Hollywood in the morning, you get a bus to the Zoo Magnet, or you get dropped off there directly. And you are there until lunchtime. And then after you eat your lunch, there's a bus that will take you to the North Hollywood campus for 5th and 6th period, where you would finish your day at the North Hollywood campus. So those are the two options. Either you begin your day at North Hollywood or you end your day at North Hollywood. So, and then buses travel at nutrition and lunch, so you don't miss instructional time. For another thing to consider is for the Zoo Magnet, we are on block schedule. Our block schedule works that we have 2-hour block periods. So our classes meet for 2 hours. North Hollywood High School is on a regular schedule. So they meet all 6 periods every day. Our days alternate even and odd days. So for us on Mondays and Thursdays, periods 1, 3, and 5 meet. So for example, on Monday, period 1 would meet until nutrition, and then period 3 would meet from nutrition, after nutrition to the beginning of lunch for 2 hours. And then after lunch, we would have 5th period, and then it would be the end of the day. For North Hollywood, those classes meet every day, which is again why we pair those classes. So if they have North Hollywood classes, they'll meet first and second period, and then on a Monday they'd come to the zoo and have third period, then lunch, and then fifth period. On Tuesdays, we have all of our classes. So all 6 classes meet because Tuesdays are shortened days for the faculty to meet and so forth. So we meet 3 times a week with our classes. The reason we really need that block schedule is because it allows us to access our community resources. It allows us the time we need to walk up to the LA Zoo or walk over to the river or the Autry Museum or the park, and do the types of things that we like to do with our classes to engage students in hands-on work outside of the classroom. So without that time, we wouldn't be able to provide the program that we have. So that's why we have the 2-hour block schedule, which some people really like and some people maybe don't. So it's something to consider. Again, we are a small school, so that's good and bad, right? Because these are all the people you're going to be with. That's it. You like them or you don't. So kind of considering, do you like the idea of being in a small school? Please note that we get about 300 or more applications each year for the Zoo Magnet. Again, these are organized based on highest number of points to the lowest number of points. And each year we alternate how many students we have space for. So some years we have like this, so some years we are bringing in 65 students, and then the next year we'll bring in 95 students. So fall 2020, we brought in 95 students. So 2021, we'll bring in 65 students. So out of those 300 applications, 65 students in fall 2021 will be admitted, and the remainder will be on the waiting list. Remember also that you only end up on our waiting list if we are your first choice school. Not all of those students who we initially accept will accept that position, and then we get to start going down our wait list. There are years where we've gotten down to people who have 4 points or 0 points, but it really varies from year to year. So I would say apply if you want to. Please, again, remember that you only end up on our wait list if we are your first choice school in the choices application. Also, we do accept students of all ability levels. You are not required to be identified as gifted to be a part of our program, but we do still have an academically rigorous program, and it is science-based. So if your student is not interested in science, this is not the program for you, right? So we have very high expectations and standards in our science curriculum, and we expect students to engage in science elective classes in their junior and senior year. If students are not interested in science, even if that's not something they want to pursue forever, if they're not interested in it, this is really not the right program. So for this year, we're not doing any in-person tours. We instead are doing a couple of virtual question and answer dates. We are also participating in a number of magnet nights and magnet fairs virtually. The dates for this year are listed here. So we have one Monday, October 12th from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., Tuesday, October 20th, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. And on Wednesday, October 28th from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., we're doing a Spanish-only Q&A session. More information can be found on our website at zoomagnet.org. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at NHHS Zoom Magnet, and check out what we're posting. Normally, this is where in a live presentation I would ask for questions, but we don't have anyone to ask questions. So I'm going to wrap it up there. I will also note that the schedule for distance learning is obviously very different. So if you're interested in taking a look at that, that's on our website, but we are hoping that that will not be the situation for next school year. So, but if you're just interested in taking a look, it's basically the standard schedule that was agreed upon by the district and the union through the site agreement. And so you can take a look at zoommagnet.org or nhhs.net for the full schedule of classes. Thank you very much for joining me and listening. And if you have questions, I will direct you to our website where you can email me. My information, if you actually is right here at the top. So I'm Ms. Hope, Magnet Coordinator. You can call me on this number, or you can email me at my LUSD email address located here. I also recommend you check out our prospective students tab, which is where we have all the information about upcoming informational meetings, question and answer sessions, and what fairs and magnet nights we're participating in. If you're interested in signing up for a question and answer session, there is a sign up link here, or also if you come to this page, the interest form is located here. So sign up here. That way I can send you the Zoom information directly to the email you provide in that form. And this presentation is also available on our website, as well as some words from our students and some videos from our students' perspective as well. And I'll be posting more videos here on the videos link in the upcoming weeks. Thank you very much and have a lovely day.